Hi folks, this is me, Carl, speaking to you again about how to become artful or heartful with the realm of part of ourselves that only feels, become a best friends with our feelings, even those to be considered to be good or bad or magnificent or absolutely horrible. It's all one feeling. That's a fact. There aren't many feelings really. It's the mind that decided which feeling is what. What if it's not like that? What if the mind is wrong about everything? Isn't that a relaxing thought? What if we can just go, okay, maybe I didn't see it right. Maybe I wasn't shown ever how to do this right use of will. So today we're beginning with chapter 2. It's a really good chapter. I'm sure everybody's going to feel blessed by, and it's called Clearing Illness and Habits. Clearing illness and habits. Isn't that interesting that chapter 1 was write yourself, well, hey, it's time to look at your feelings now. Get to know this part of yourself. And the second chapter goes straight into clearing illness and habits. Because when you're sick, it's very hard to do all the other work. Hence, it's at the beginning, and probably the hardest one in all this clearing is the body. Yeah, so some teachings say the mind constantly attacks the body. Now let's ask ourselves, is that true? Do we judge our body every time it shows some ache? What's our attitude? Is it like, sweetie, what do you need? Oh, you're letting me know something's up for you. Hey, I want to be present. I want to hear from you unconditionally. Or is it like, oh no? Or is it automatic reach for a fix? Medication or a movie or even a walk? Or is it stopping and going, hello buddy, what are you trying to tell me? And yet, in the stressful and busy environment, this body is not really able to show us what's really going on for it. So here we go. Clearing illness and habits. This is absolutely fascinating chapter, and healing the body is the hardest thing that I found so far, because one can be very peaceful in mind and very aligned with feeling and even feel the heart, and yet aches and states of kind of tiredness, or all of a sudden there is a heart palpitation that's out of nowhere, or a toe that doesn't bend properly, or a foot that kind of begins to drag a bit, or I'm sure you have your own little ouchies, no matter how young. I remember when I was a young boy, had this and that. So it's, I could say now, look, I'm 67, so I think I could say, okay, it's the years of neglect or something like that, and the result of all the habitual patterns that, as this chapter will say, lead us to more and more tension and contraction and body stiffness until we reach the highest stage of no movement, which is rigor mortis, when everything just can't function anymore, which is really an interesting pattern of that we are so accustomed to on earth, that we have this certain life and then we stiffen. It cannot last. So let's begin before I get too heady here. So to begin with, illness can be cleared by learning what? By learning to listen to what the body is trying to say to you when you are ill. When you try and try and try, it's hard work, and this body is constantly trying to reach us by saying, hey, you're choking me with that food. Who told you have to eat 3 times a day? I can't possibly digest and assimilate and eliminate and cleanse the amount of junk. You think it's health food you push into me, right? Here comes a beautiful sentence. Understanding this message gives the body a most needed feeling of acceptance. I'm going to read that again because it's so good. Understanding this message, that when we actually stop, but also relax enough so the body can speak. The body can go, hey. But if it's in an overwhelm, mind is in overwhelm, and then no one hears anything, there is no relationship, there is no communication, there is not this loving union that one can have with the body, where body is just oozing light, oozing flexibility and happiness and well-being. Like the more enlightened state, I hate using that term, but let's just use it because it's so commonly used. More enlightened state is not a state that suddenly kicks in and you go like, whoa. It's a slow constancy of just feeling good, for example. That accumulates because as you sow, you shall reap. If you're sowing tension and conflict with the body and pain and aches and your attack against those pains, that's what you're seeding, that's what you're sowing next day or 3 weeks later. But let's say you just feel good for no good reason. It's just your natural inheritance is actually just to feel good. That feeling good expands by if it's continuous, and it can be. But how many times do we just allow ourselves to feel good for no good reason? I'm going to try now. Just allow yourself to feel good. Say yes. Don't let the mind decide whether it's going to or not. Just, okay, let's do this. Let's feel good. And then you will have a tiny little twinge of feeling good feeling. And as you feel this twinge of feeling good, if you allow yourself not to lose connection to it, yeah, like we're creating goodness, just feeling good for no good reason. It's not because you got a new car or you new baby or something. Simply feeling good. Can you allow that even more? Say yes. Don't let anything to go into choices, unless this is not for you, and then it's better to turn it off. Now, you allow that even more, and fully just relax yourself into this place of just feeling good, simple feeling good, which I don't think has ever been taught to us, that it's as simple as saying, hey, so we can't be so good at feeling bad, right? How about just feeling good? And there it is. And just keep allowing it more and more until you find it like a sweet spot where it just feels good, but not too ecstatic. Because when you feel too ecstatic, it could be so unusual that you will begin to think about it and drown it. Just feel good, find like a sweet spot of just feeling good. And then step back and let that feeling, good feeling take over. Take go. As simple as that. So if you stay here, what you sow you shall reap. So this is now being dropped into your will as a state of being. And will goes, oh. Mind stops chasing things because it's feeling good already. I mean, how much do you do just to feel good? It's like, I'm gonna go for the beach, so I feel good. You know, I'm gonna go for a swim, so I feel good. I go for a run, so I feel good. I'm gonna have a cup of tea, so I feel what? I feel good. But just to stop and feel good before you have to do all these activities to get there. Beautiful. And so now in this place, it is much easier to connect to the body and just notice, what is the body expressing to you now that it can? And the mind's gone out. You know, you're simply feeling good enough to tune in to hear from the body. So understanding this message gives the body a most needed feeling of acceptance instead of the feeling that it is against your body trying to defeat illness, as though illness is some kind of sabotage by the body. Illness is not sabotage. It is the body's statement that it has been having to hold the imbalance of denied will and needs release. Needs what? Needs release. How do we do that? Stepping back and allowing body to express itself. You doing it is not going to do it. It's you not doing it that will help it. That will reach that ignition point where your body begins to do what it needs to do in order to release itself, right? And so what does body need for that? Is the feeling of acceptance. So let's look at that. Do you accept what your body is telling you unconditionally? Or do you do something else with it? What do you do in your own realm there, in this particular relationship which you have to your body? Is this clearly you, the thinker, you, the feeler, you, the heart presence, and you, the body? And they're in a relationship. See, we are in a relationship with everything. We're in a relationship to a person we don't like. Yeah? We're still in a relationship. You think any of your exes, right? You're still in a relationship with them. It could be bad, it could be good, it could be neutral, but it's still a relationship. We cannot not relate to everything. Things we don't like, we have a relationship of not liking with that thing. But you can't escape this reality where everything relates. So if we bring it back home and we begin a new relationship with the body, and also a new relationship of body to what we think is us. I hope this makes sense. Because everything has a relationship with everything. Your will has a relationship with the heart. Your heart has a relationship to the mind. Has a relationship to your spirit, which is a less condensed state of reality, which is mind is a little bit thick. Let's admit that. Yeah. So illness is not sabotage. It's a body statement that is being having to hold. What? Hold. What is that? Hold. Can you feel the holding? Holding imbalance. Yeah. Of denied will, because it's feeling like, how does it feel? How does it feel to be with this, in the relationship with this particular body? Is it good? Or is it constant undercurrent of annoyance? And then really it comes to this, like, what if we just decided right now to have a really good relationship with this part of us that's called body? Because no matter what, no matter how much awakening you're going to get, it's going to be still. You will wake up in the morning, you will wash it, you will have to feed it, you'll have to do all of this. Now, if you can accept the message and regain the necessary balance, illness disappears and health prevails. Now, a way to work with this is to allow your full consciousness to be with the illness by entering the distress rather than blocking it, ignoring it, or masking the symptom with medication. Now, with your full consciousness present. How do you do that? Full consciousness present. So it's not like you sitting there slouched and like, yeah, I'm present with this. No, you're not. Present is when you allow yourself to be really there, really erect and really alert, that you truly want to know. So with your full consciousness present, So you call all your consciousness to come into full presence. Full presence, so you feel this presence everywhere. You can ask your body what the message is and receive an answer about how to restore balance. So I go, hello body, let's talk. Let's connect. Talk to me. Tell me, what am I doing to you that gives you this crippling feeling? What am I doing? Show me. Now, what's really important in here is relaxation. Look, there could be a tension. There could be also a fear of what is body going to tell me? What if it tells you something that you really enjoy doing and it says, hey, that's killing me? Huh? So we don't want to hear from the body unconditionally. But what if we just decide that we're going to find out? Yeah. Now, then do what body asks and see the result. So first we have to hear from it. That in itself can be an art of hearing from the body unconditionally. Learning how to step back and let the pain, the cause of the pain, being revealed. If complete healing is not reached, ask again. And do again what body asks until healing is reached. This process will evolve your ability to listen to your body. What process? This process, this particular process. So it's like learning a new skill that might have gone a bit limp and uncertain and unsure. So it's like remembering. So it's going to read a bit further. And also, this chapter is called Clearing Illness and Habits. And we're going to find out a lot about habits that are more of the cause of the problem than the actual symptom, right? Because it's already an effect of a habitual pattern, but we'll get to that. But I just wanted to put that in there because it kind of relaxes the being, and go like, hang on a second, you know, unless you find a cause, the effect does not disappear. Yeah. You can keep forgiving and forgiving. If you're forgiving effects, you are not seeing what causes them. And so nothing really changes. That's why you're never upset for the reason you think. Because when you really find a real reason, all your effects will disappear. But while the effect is at cause, reversed, right? Nothing changes. If nothing changes, you have not seen the cause. So hence, we're asking, what is the cause? What causes this? What causes that? And like I just said, a lot of cause is the habitual patterns. Yeah. No person needs to die from illness if body has another option that is real for it. Body also has its own free will to decide if it can heal now or not. This is amazing, hey? The body also has its own free will to decide if it can heal now or not. If you are seriously trying to align, body will not die unless its only option for healing is rebirth. Even though some diseases indicate drastic imbalance, the idea of seeing certain diseases as fatal has been accepted by many only because the way of treating them has been to deny the message of the body, instead of seeking to restore the balance. Healing has attempted to suppress all symptoms. Then, body is incapable of recovering health, aging the body seriously. The understanding needed is this: the natural state is health. Disease equals an imbalance that can be rectified. So we begin slowly, begin to go gently. Okay, let's change our relationship to the body. It's a good beginning. I'm not actually telling you what to do. I'm just throwing in ideas or where to begin. Pretty much where I begin. And you will find your own particular way that will be more real for you. Same as this book is just throwing around the ideas. Yeah. You can find, of course, you, like I said before, you don't need to listen to these talks either. You can just grab the book and follow it, and it'll be just your journey. What I did find that I misunderstood many things, or I skipped many things at the beginning. I know very well of people who maybe a long time in a process, and they're still missing the first beginning, the introductions, the steps to healing, which is an absolute must to know. Without this whole process can become so complex. And I did it for years, a wrong way. I absolutely did. I've projected everything out, and I wanted other people to move instead of me going there. So if someone's telling you, for example, that you're not moving some feelings, or you're doing this and you're doing that, you go, how does that make you feel? Yeah, because no one should be overriding your will. And it always has to come back. It's always here. I am the cause of what's going on around me. If I think people's are cause of what's going on around me, I'm going to be here for a long time trying to heal something and nothing changes. Right? So some of the most fundamental things in the right use of will are the reason why I'm doing these talks, for those who find them useful. And I don't put myself into a category, being a teacher of some kind. I'm simply sharing my experience, and I know where this can take me and where it took me, and the exquisite healing that took place through this particular sets of beliefs or suggestions that help me to see my inner relationship to my own will. Does my will feel safe with me? Does my will trust me? Is she capable of reflecting things to me or not? Same thing with the body. Does my body feel safe with my mind? No way. I remember once I was doing this like a process, and I go like, body, so how is it? The body just goes like, fuck off, go. And I was such an awakener. I was like, don't freaking come up with another process. Just shut up and listen to me for once. And it was such a humbling moment where I went, God, and humbling and embarrassing and the most beautiful. Even just hearing from a body, I found personally one of the hardest things to crack, to really get good at. And I can hear from my will, I can hear from my heart really well. I I'd say my biggest challenge will be actually hearing more from my spirit, like an inspiration, inspiring ideas. That would be something that I would desire personally. But at this point, I'm really not only reading this to share this, but I'm actually really want to apply this particular chapter and really regain balance more with my body and create a new loving relationship with this form, with this denser aspect of myself that we call form, a body, or what's your name for it? You know? And what is your relationship to your body? And it's not even that I want to know or anybody else should know, but you find out, like, how am I really relating to this part of me that is this amazing part. And I find it that you know, one of the books calls it like a learning device, but there's also that aspect of it where you, or I personally, let me put it this way, I can learn from the body, because body can show you things you could be pretty amazed by. And seriously, when the few times when I really heard from the body in the most unexpected way, yeah, I was very humbled, very deeply moved, and pretty much almost overwhelmed by the enormity of it and its divine aspect. Yeah, later on it talks about body being as the most maligned and denied part of creation. Just because it got a bit more dense than we would like it to be, and because it got dense, everything else around us is seen as density. But more you relax, and more you step back and let the body lead you, there is an amazing educational aspect to it that can teach the mind how that relationship needs to change. So since we have relationship to everything, right? We can't not relate. Everything is relating with everything. I'm sure you have a different relationship to your liver than you have to your spleen, or to your sacrum, or to your foot. And you see, they're all different relationships. Some of them bug you, some of them don't. Some of them show you pain, some show you maybe more pleasure. For the person experiencing physical imbalance, a change of mental concepts of disease is also necessary. Yeah, we're never upset for the reason we think, that the symptoms we are seeing is not they're necessarily the cause. They're just the effect of something that's happening we can't see. And I guarantee you, the minute you see the cause, the effect will shift. I'll tell you a story where I heard from my body in the most profound way. So I was at a uni studying to be concert guitarist. I was doing a diploma in performance, and my idea was like, well, you want to be good, you got to practice 8 hours a day. So it's like just completely stupid, really. But it didn't occur to me at that time. I thought, yeah, you got to work hard and you got to really, really be with this instrument and practice and practice. Next minute, my back is killing me. So what do? I go, well, I got to do some yoga. Yeah. So I was doing yoga, and like a third thing in that stage of my life, I was very much into just wanted to know about everything. So I had this part of me that just wanted to study more and pack my head with more information and different approaches. And at that time, I think this little spiritual aspect of beings began to creep in. So I have these three things going on, and eventually I was in so much agony that I begged for some help. And somewhere I read, I think it was even Shirley MacLaine or yes, Shirley MacLaine was saying how when the body is doing something, she goes like, I stop, I take a couple of deep breaths, and I relax myself, and then I go, body, what's up? And the body talks to me. I'm like, God, I gotta try this. So I went, and I took a couple of these breaths. I go, hey, back, what am I doing to you that, you're showing me this pain? And then it was this like most exquisite, simple answer that straight away came. It almost sounded like my mind was speaking, but it wasn't. It was not very different, but it was different. And at that time, I was just about having holidays, 2-week holiday. And as much as I said, oh, come holidays, I'll practice even more. I said, okay, body, I am going to stop right now. I have holidays. I don't have to do anything, and I'm not going to. I'm not going to practice. I'm not going to yoga, and I'm not going to trying to be the most intelligent person on the planet. Like more educated, let's better say that. Anyway, in an instant, the pain was gone. Gone. Something that I would just suffer and maybe seek chiropractors. Of course, that's dealing with an effect, not looking at the cause. And the pain was gone in an instant. I went like, wow, this is incredible. And at the same time, I saw the whole trick that I was playing on myself. And it was this. When I was practicing guitar, I had this feeling that I should be also doing a little bit more of that yoga, right? Or stretching the body or relaxing the body. But at the same time, I was like, but I'm not learning all these amazing things I want to learn. So I had these three things going on. And when I was doing one, I always felt guilty I wasn't doing the other. And that was my very non-intelligent approach to life. And it was a major awakening. So for 2 weeks, I haven't touched anything. I said, I'm just going to be myself as I am. And that was no pain. It was actually no pain. The minute I saw the cause, the effect was immediately released. And that was definitely, and at that time I didn't even know about Raichu so well. Maybe I just was starting to meet some people at that time who were doing Raichu so well, but I actually haven't had the book, I think, at that time. See? So that's just like my particular example of hearing from the body unconditionally. But one thing that I really see is very different is this level of relaxation. That's why it's interesting because every good book will tell you, slow down, go quiet, begin to listen. Listen to everything that's happening in you until you can hear everything in the whole creation. I'm just stealing a sentence from a few chapters later. And so I'm just going to read now. For the person experiencing physical imbalance, a change of mental concepts of disease is also necessary. Through denial, the imbalance that produces disease has gone unnoticed until the symptoms have had to demand attention by becoming intense. As soon as balance is restored, when signs are still at subtle levels, disease does not need to appear. Once the balance necessary for health has been gained, this energy is free to create something for itself other than disease. Health is an offering to spirits that can understand the way to live in a physical plane on this particular planet. The other abilities of right use of will are based on a foundation of good health, because a body blocked by imbalance cannot express the capabilities inherent in balance. Isn't this gold? What a profound material. The practice of right use of will may at first bring forward illness, because the suppressed will is bound to have had suppressed symptoms. If will needs to take strong action, when it begins to clear, illness may temporarily result. If that happens, the next step is the understanding the illness and then balancing the body so the illness disappears. Health can be a permanent state of affairs when the will and the spirits balance with each other unconditionally in the heart. If imbalance is not rectified, illness is healed, only temporary. Aging indicates long-standing and ongoing imbalance. Illness, aging, and death do not need to be. And I should tell you why, because, we slowed ourselves down with this thick thinking, stinking thinking. We made ourselves so dense and we forgot how to return. And that's all it is. Any kind of awakening is just release of the blocks, release of structures that are keeping us imprisoned. It's nothing else really. It's just that. Yeah. I want to finish this because the second part, which I'll do next time, it's to do with body habits or habits that affect the body. But I want to complete this. The fear with which society has surrounded illness is a conditioning in need of strong attention. What? What attention? Strong attention. So many people have come to feel that illness is inevitable and that all must die of something. Right? It's just a belief. Because of the density, which is the cause, and the sickness is the effect. Now you can fight around with sickness if you don't find the cause. This is why the next book is called The Original Cause 1 and Original Cause 2, which then takes you deeper into triggering your will into release, so you can see what's held in there. And what's held in there is a lot. But doing it intelligently, and if you do this particularly steps to healing, it will work beautifully. Yeah. If you don't do steps to healing, then it could be a very long journey. Okay. So many people have come to feel that illness is inevitable and that all must die of something. That the energy field emanated by this attitude is actually attracting illness to the acceptance of it as inevitable. Health is actually the way, but it has not been the way for such a very long time on earth that it seems as though no one even remembers that this is the way. So I'll continue next time with this next section, which has to do with habits. Yeah, more immediate. Watch this, more immediate. So more important than health, right? More immediate than gaining health for some people is the need to examine habits which are running the body down. So see, that's another whole cause. So this we're going to elaborate on and share together next time. And please do write some things that are meaningful for you to sharing, so I don't feel like I'm like talking at you. Talk back and share your instances of healing and things like that, if that feels good. I need this chapter more than I know, and I'm so glad I could share it with you. And I'm actually at this point really deeply diving into relaxation, fully relaxing, and really getting to that place of hearing from the body what unconditionally. I remember the first time when I read this, it said, understanding this message gives the body a most needed feeling of acceptance. And right there, I saw the amount of non-acceptance that was precipitating towards my body from my mind. Yeah, constant barrage of attack and condemnations and unseen. I could not really see it actually without feeling. It was the feeling that showed me how attacking my mind actually is, and how the relationship my mind has towards body. It's like that body needs to be wanting to die soon because it wasn't very loving. And even when healing comes, sometimes the old habits kick in and begin to do the same thing again, unless one is fast enough and relaxed enough to catch it. So yeah, anything that to do with deep relaxation, like what truly relaxes me, and then name it and then go for it. Find a way to deeply relax. So everything within your own feeling body, emotional body, your heart and your mind and your will can begin to communicate with everything else. So it's not just your communication to the willing, to the feeling, but also feelings communication to you as the thinker of these thoughts. So anyway, Happy New Year, everyone. I hope you guys had a restful time and spent a beautiful time with your families or yourself. And we'll be on to this. So hey, thanks for listening. Catch ya.